Hello, welcome back to this channel where I explore a lot of things using Apple Vision Pro just for immersion. And especially as you might already know, I'm often very passionate and kind of nerdy when it comes to Japanese learning. So I got a lot of motivations, but I like Japanese culture and foods, and also I want to be able to read kanji more easily and just to, a lot of things that I can learn from by augmenting myself with the Japanese culture. Okay, so anyhow, so I am writing this note, right? It's a 10 notes, but I think it could be simplified. I'm writing my Japanese learning journey, learning at a like snail pace, really slow. I think I learned Japanese on my own or via my Japanese friends as well, but I think it's taking a little bit longer than I thought. Maybe because at some point I actually stopped learning, and it's taking more than 20 years or something. But I think I somewhere along the way, my mistake is actually stop learning hiragana and katakana. Okay, so it's a small thing, but apparently you cannot go really far unless you memorize the hiragana and katakana. Okay, so my first, okay, this is kind of important, but okay, first of all, the setup. I have this inside my immersion space. I have freeform app where I can doodle. I have this book, Japanese dictionary book that's really, really cool. It's got a lot of reference. I can search the dictionary. Definitely recommended app. And I have the iPad here. The iPad is important, actually, very important. If you are like a learner, you like to learn things, have an iPad and Apple Pencil. Okay, I have a lot, um, especially if you want to, you're self-taught and you want to learn a lot of things online or using books, digital books, and a lot of things. The iPad and Apple Pencil. Apple Pencil because you'll be able to write. I want to make a big points on that. So I have the mirror of a lot of things here. Okay, this is the iPad. You cannot see the screen of the iPad here, but you can see it's mirrored into the Vision Pro. So I'm in the moon space. Okay, so okay, let's get back to this one. Have a good. Okay, the first one is have a good Japanese book to start with, like physical Japanese books. That's a good start because even if you okay, you read the books and you will not understand a lot of things at first, but have a book because many years you're gonna look at the books that's laying there and then you wonder if you ever gonna understand that book. Okay. I think my first book is Mina. My first Japanese book or something. It's called Minasan Nihongo or something. Okay. Second one I wrote here, Hiragana, Katakana, Romaji, memorizing. That's really important. If you skip number 2, you cannot learn the rest. I mean, you can, but in terms of my mistake, 10 years, 20 years, maybe you will never understand Japanese correctly unless you learn Hiragana, Katakana. Number 3 is very important. That's actually what I found last night. Grid to memorize Hiragana, Katakana, and you need to remember this sentence. Akasatana Hamayarawan. Okay, it sounds like Sanskrit language, like Indian Sanskrit language. It's in Romaji, but I'm reading it with Japanese pronunciations. If you are English speakers learning Japanese using English, this word Akasatana Hamayarawan, it doesn't make sense at first, but this is actually written in every hiragana chart and katakana chart. Okay, I'll take a look at this guy over here. There, okay, the Akasatana Hamayarawan. That's written on the left here, and that's make up the grid of A I U E O, A I U E O of the Hiragana and also the Katakana. That's a lot of doodle or like a noodle, like a snail, or I don't know, just like a noodle kind of writings, right? A lot of, but they are in the grid. And this is quite important. I want to emphasize this, and then this is something that I want to talk about in this video. A I U E O is easy, right? Easy alphabetically. A I U E O. The vertical one, Akasatana Hamayarawan. So Akasatana Hamayarawan. That's gonna be repeated. Kakiku keko sashi suseso tachi tsuseto nanuneno. That's gonna be in the grid of this matrix, and this is something you need to memorize. Maybe not right away. Maybe it's gonna take few days. Maybe it's gonna take few years. No, but this is definitely using this mnemonic as Akasatana, red Satan, or something. Hamayarawan, Akasatana Hamayarawan. That's gonna be faster for you to memorize. Once you put this into a grid, and then you start to fill up, try to draw the stroke in. You need to draw the stroke in order. You know, like this is how you write U. This is how you write E. And this is from this app called Japanese Dictionary. This is for hiragana, and there's also the katakana. Katakana for borrowed words in Japanese, like handkerchief or ramen. Ramen is apparently a borrowed word, you know, like America or Australia, Sydney, or this kind of borrowed word from outside. You use katakana. And this is all the syllables to make the sounds of the word. So we are not entering the world of kanji yet. So far, I think many years I just learned kanji, which is number 4. Kanji is satisfying, but it's an ongoing progress. And I remember maybe many years ago, I say, oh, okay, I will study 2000 kanji. Should be easy. 2000 kanji. 200 kanji is actually easy. 100. The first 100 is easy. 2000, it's gonna take a while. But remember this, the Japanese school kids will understand 2000 kanji, and hiragana katakana, they will learn it in primary, before primary school, maybe kindergarten also. They will learn hiragana katakana, how it sounds, how you can listen to the sound of this, and then write down. Maybe some kids have trouble writing and reading, but this is something you need to learn as if you're like an adult and then just learning Japanese, and then it's like, oh my god, it's like a lot of things to learn. But yeah, the mnemonic is actually very important. I just want to show it to you. Okay, yeah, I'm still maybe not 100% with this, but it's getting better. And then suddenly, like I say, last night it makes sense. Why didn't learn this way? A I U E O. You might think that okay, let's use this a little bit nicer, right? Yeah. A I U E O. Akasatana. It's a grid, right? It's a grid, and you're gonna write down the rest of them in the box, or just like following this grid. Akasatana. What is that? Akasatana Hamayarawan. Hamayarawan. Just one method to learn this. Maybe you have different method. In the world of AI nowadays, if you want to self-taught, the AI can help you with many methods. In fact, if you're looking at YouTube video, one of YouTube video might click for you, and then that's actually a good way to learn. You try different videos, maybe even videos from TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all these videos that it's gonna, the one that's looping, especially like TikTok, sometimes can help. But YouTube video with sometimes with subtitle, and yeah, it's gonna help. That's number 5. Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. For listening, reading, writing, speaking, if you just listen to podcasts, maybe very helpful at later stage, but I think video is a good start. Number 6, Japanese apps, dictionary, kanji map. There's a lot of apps like this. Okay, I'm jumping around. On the iPad, like Hiragana Times, if you have this Hiragana Times, every issue you need to pay, but if you go to Japanese foundations, like Japanese Foundation Library, if you have it in your city, go there. You can actually download Hiragana Times for free, sort of. Visit to Kinokuniya. And then number 8, learn Japanese culture, foods, books, mangas, stories, art. That's music, karaoke, that will come later, and the rest of them up to you. Talk to Japanese person, interact with go to Japan, right? But number 3 is very important. That's what I want to talk about today. I keep jumping around, but this A I U E O, Akasatana Hamayarawan. That's really the key. Okay, that's really the key. And me having to do this, okay, even it's gonna take hundreds hours. Okay, that's kind of wrong. A I U E O, but I'm writing it down in Hiragana. I should be able to write it down in Katakana as well, but this you need to memorize. Okay, my writing is pretty bad using this freeform app. Like I said, you probably need an iPad and Apple Pencil. So, and then you might actually you might have seen this. Heno mo he ji, right? Like this face that's made up of hiragana character. So heno moeji. So it's it's heno moeji. So hahi hu he ho, hahi hu he no is this one. So you probably already know he no. So mo he ji. So that's G with this things that it's called tenten. G is like, I think from, we don't have jaji juje jo, right? G is suddenly I have problem with my brain. Okay, G is actually from this guy over here. She become G because you got the 10 over there. That's the additional things that can make up word like gu gagi gu gego saji ju jezo daji zu zezo, like all the new word because you add the extra round things or the 10. And then you have kya kyu kyo sashisho, all these things that can make Japanese sounding word. And all of this is inside the reference. The kanji also, okay, kanji, like I said, the first 100 will be easy, quotation mark, but it's gonna be like it's gonna take a while, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, things like that, and then things like wind, water. I think this is gate, kai. Okay, yeah, things like that. Go back to reference. Go back to kana, Japanese syllabaries, hiragana, katakana. Okay, the grid. Just remember this grid. You need to memorize. Once you understand this, the rest is easier. You don't need, maybe you won't be able to memorize it at once, but you need 100%, you need to understand kana. How to write it down, how to read it, how to write it. And then once you get this like 100% memorized, you can read faster. At first, you're going to be in snail pace, speed of 1. The Japanese people read it at speed of 1000 or 100, something like that. And once you do that, and then you look at the karaoke, if you look at the karaoke in Apple Music, okay, example from Apple ecosystem. That's amazing. That's the best ecosystem to learn Japanese, I think. It's just my way to do this. Okay, favorite song. Do I have Japanese song? Yeah, Fuji. Okay, Fujikaze. His song might be a little bit difficult, but you can go into karaoke. You got the lyrics. The lyrics gonna be in kanji, hiragana, katakana. The kanji will not have hiragana inside it, but if you use app like this one, Human Japanese is also a book. I think it's probably free. I have to remember that, but I think once you understand memorize the grid and how to write it down, write it many times until you really know how it sounds, how to write it down. It seems hard at first, but eventually you'll be able to read this, for example, and then you'll be able to tap it on the iPad. Hamabe, yeah, maybe. Memai. Kami can be God. Kami can be paper. Okay, this one doesn't seem to work. Heavy rotations. Where is another Japanese? First love. Yeah, it doesn't show the kanji. I think it could be a bug at the moment still. Muketa. Meshita. Kuma. Kumo. Yeah, this one Momo. You don't understand the meaning, but you can at least read it. And then so at the very first, maybe when you're learning Japanese, just listening and speaking, like konnichiwa, arigato, gomenasai, sumimasen. That's listening, and you know the small things that you can repeat, arigato gozaimasu, and my name is something that's. But after you after you have that, the next thing, of course, you will need to learn the grid, of hiragana and katakana, and then because once you do that, using the app like this Human Japanese, you can continue and start to learn, and then things like this, interactive things like this, is very it's like very rewarding, right? You suddenly can read, and then you don't understand the meaning yet, but there is the kanji for this word. Like I said, that's why learning the kanji will be next. It's like learning to draw. You might eventually understand 2000 kanji. It's gonna take a while, but kanji is satisfying. So it's very rewarding. Because suddenly you probably, once you keep going, yeah, it's this one. Has a lot of practice on katakana, hiragana. I think long time ago, many years ago. Okay, next chapter is oh, come on. Yeah, I need to go. I need to go to the setting, preference, roam freely. Yeah, okay. Long time ago, I think my mistake is to stop because I got so many things, Long time ago, I only look at this translation and romanized version. Onamae wa nan desu ka? What is your name? Okay. Romaji and translation, maybe it's good as when you first started because you look at these noodle writings, it makes you a little bit stressed. But if you understand the mnemonic for the grid for Hiragana Katakana, you actually will be able to read. John des. My name is John, right? John des. Mariko des. Mariko. So I can actually read that. Surprisingly.
John des.
So because I figured it out just last night after 20 or more years, I couldn't understand Japanese language. Suddenly I can. It's really weird. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. I don't need to tap on show Romaji version of this. So Romaji and translation is nice. I mean, in a way, if you can use translation, you can use AI at some point, real-time AI. But I realize if I really want to learn properly, I also need to use my brain. Okay. So relying on AI is fine and definitely can help if you have like a translator, like a human person translator or AI translator. You that will help. Okay, I'm trying to make a grid. I'm not getting the grid, which is really weird. Maybe it's a bug. Wow. Could be a bug, but you can create lines and grid. Should be able to create lines and grid here. Okay, like that. Lines and grid, like that. And then start writing on the iPad. Okay, I'm looking at the Apple Vision Pro and looking at the iPad. This is the Apple Vision Pro keyboard. Okay, this is too big. I need to go smaller. Okay. All right, I can use my finger. And learning to write Hiragana Katakana inside the square and grid. In a way, you can write it, of course, free form way, but there is a but. I think the language itself might be better if you have some kind of structure. So you can eventually like go nuts, right? You don't need the grid, and you just write things down like in some of Japanese artwork. The kanji is like very flowing like that, but that's really advanced. At first, you want to be able to write this inside a grid. So, and then I'm using the iPad and Apple Pencil. Definitely you need to have that. And for learning Japanese, it's going to be really beneficial. Let's say, I want to write Sakura, right? Sakura. You can ask AI, change this into Hiragana version, but Sakura, I think it's like this. Kaki kukeko, Sakura. Ku, Sakura. Sometimes I get this is chi. Sakura, okay, yeah, Sakura. So I'll be able to write Sakura there. And yeah, I'm showing you this because the point is to have some kind of grid inside Apple Notes here, and then to be able to write maybe sushi. How to write sushi? Sushi, right? Sushi. This, I mean, sometimes I think, okay, oh my God, I don't have the brain capacity to learn Japanese. Maybe seems so hard, but think of this like learning to draw, stroke by stroke, and it's gonna make sense eventually. I know this part is the hardest. It seems like the hardest, but after learning Japanese, I think your brain will expand somehow. I really believe so. Considering that many young kids nowadays probably can learn Japanese at some point, either Japanese or Chinese, or yeah, any doodle language, even like Thai or Vietnamese. The Indonesian don't really use their doodle language anymore, but they actually have like Javanese, Sundanese. But yeah, but anyhow, my biggest point will be number 3. Great mnemonic Akasatana Hamayarawan. That's grid that you need to understand, and then you look at this, and then you should be able to read. Don't look at the romaji. Turn off the romaji if you can, and then just read it. A I U E O kaki kukeo such. This should be 100% memorized, and then after you do that, the rest will be easier and can help you learn faster. Whether you like to read books, if you just listen to podcasts, I think good for listening, speaking if you talk to a person. But I like reading and writing. I like looking at the kanji. Like I love learning the kanji. Hopefully get to 2000 kanji really soon. But I like to be able to look at Japanese lyrics and be able to sing it. If you actually, okay, one more thing to show you. If you like in Hiragana times, you look at in many of Japanese children books, the kanji will have the hiragana underneath. Even if you don't know the kanji, you will be able to read it. If you really don't know the kanji, of course you need to check the dictionary, right? Otherwise, how can that make sense? So kanji is something that you also need to memorize on top of this Hiragana Katakana. Don't worry about the numbers, just look at the grid. Look at the grid, and then you suddenly Akasatana Hamayarawan with N at the end there. So all of this hiragana, this article inside Hiragana Times will be next, and then once you'll be able to read it, and then of course a lot of things you won't understand. You can copy paste this into AI. Let the AI explain to you if you want to do that. You will get understanding, of course, because it's a translations. There's also English articles in this magazine. But imagine, okay, once maybe you understand this, okay, Mata Ninshi 2022, something, then that's about date. Japan, say, Hin, something, yeah. This is maybe intermediate level, but at some point, once you understand the katakana hiragana and be able to read it, and then you have more vocabularies, even though you don't know the grammar yet. Okay, the grammars will come eventually. Grammar is actually can be very last. I mean, of course you learn the grammar. If you're in a school and you're gonna learn the grammar properly, that's also really helpful for your Japanese learning. But if you're self-taught and you want to learn from YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, remember number 3, Akasatana Hamayarawan. Remember that. I actually got this from another YouTube video. I think the teacher is he lives in Indonesia for 8 years, and then he also teach Japanese. online and maybe not online. The person who is a Japanese in Indonesia, because my main language Indonesian and also I know English, that can teach you faster Japanese. Obviously, if you have a good Japanese teacher, that will help a lot, of course. But you don't always have the teacher in front of you. You have AI, you have internet. You can ask people online or talk with the, like interactive YouTube, interactive video stream with a talk with Japanese person. But if you don't want to talk, don't worry. Just read mangas and read books, But this is important. The most important, Hiragana Katakana. You don't need to memorize it right away. Take your time. Don't get too crazy. But you can see it's sushi, right? Sushi is over there. And then you probably have ramen. Or maybe you want to write Goku with Hiragana. Goku. You find a go somewhere here. Go. And then find a ku. Goku. Up here. Kakikukeko. Where is Kakikukeko? Ku. Right, Goku, maybe write Gohan. And Gohan is, of course, means rice, and there's a kanji for Gohan. Yeah. Okay. I talk all over the place, but I hope I saved this. Yeah, I record this. Cool. Hopefully you find some understanding of Japanese learning using this video. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.